Good morning. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd. This is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Andrew Garcia. The temperatures are rising on the second day of early voting. Highs are going to reach in the upper 80s. Coming up, we'll hear about the Texas Senate-hopeful Congressman Colin Allred and how he plans to win against longtime Senator Ted Cruz. That and more after today's news. Dallas City and law enforcement leaders are making a final push against three controversial charter amendments on the ballot. Propositions S, T, and U would affect public safety departments and city governance if they pass. Proposition U would require the city to have at least 4,000 sworn-in police officers, and Dallas Police Association President Jamie Castro says that would make it difficult to recruit and keep good officers. Attorneys for a Tarrant County man are asking the U.S. Supreme Court to take him off death row. 40-year-old Paul David Story has been on death row since 2008 for capital murder. The petition comes after allegations that prosecutors told the jury the victim's family did want the death penalty. However, the family does not, according to an affidavit. Story's attorney says a response from the Supreme Court would come after December. Early voting for the November election kicked off yesterday in Texas. The biggest statewide contest on the ballot is the U.S. Senate race between Republican incumbent Ted Cruz and his Democratic challenger, Dallas area Congressman Colin Allred. Yesterday, we heard about Cruz, who's hoping to snag his third six-year term. Today, the Texas Newsroom's Blaise Gainey has this profile of Colin Allred, who, despite beating Cruz in fundraising dollars, faces an uphill battle against his high-profile opponent.
Last week's Senate debate with Senator Ted Cruz may have been the first time many Texas voters heard from Allred.
I'm Colin Allred. I'm a fourth-generation Texan. I'm a husband and a father. I was raised here in Dallas by a single mom who's a public school teacher.
Ted Cruz has built a national name for himself since 2013, when he became the state's junior senator in Washington. But Allred, who's been in Congress since 2019, is less known, even among residents of Dallas, his hometown. Take Maddie Sepsic.
I'd imagine since you've been here for 15 years, you at least know who Ted Cruz is.
I do.
And maybe you don't know who Colin Allred is.
No, I don't.
That might be Allred's biggest hurdle, after, of course, being Democrat in Texas, which Republicans have controlled for decades. But UT Arlington political science professor Rebecca Dean says several things lately have boosted Allred's profile.
Giving a speech at this past Democratic National Convention that really, of course, elevates his stature within the Democratic Party, such that the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, is actually putting some money into the race.
Before entering politics, Allred played college football for Baylor and then 4 seasons in the NFL with the Tennessee Titans. After an injury, he retired and became a lawyer.
As a civil rights lawyer, he kind of understands the give and take as he begins to have to carry legislation.
That's John Wiley Price, who's been a Dallas County commissioner since the mid-'80s. He's endorsed Allred and says,
Allred is close to being a centrist as far as I'm concerned.
He's also earned endorsements from Republicans like former Vice President Dick Cheney and his daughter Liz Cheney. But that centrist perception, according to Rebecca Dean, may be based less on his politics and more on how he comes across.
Although I think most people would tack his policies toward the left, toward the progressive side, he presents in a way that is very moderated.
Of course, playing the middle may turn off some Texas Democrats. Some of his votes in Congress have done the same. In January, Allred's primary challenger, Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez, accused him of siding, quote, with GOP extremists. That comment came after Allred was one of 3 Democrats in the U.S. House to break from their party and vote with Republicans on a resolution denouncing the Biden administration's border policies. On that, he told KERA,
I will not only recognize that we have a problem, and I have, but then I will be a part of making sure that we do secure the border, that we reform our immigration system as well, and that we do it in a bipartisan way.
But on many issues, Allred does echo most in his party. He wants
to restore a woman's right to choose, codify or turn into law, again, Roe v. Wade, go back to the standard that we've had.
improve the healthcare system, and
I want to make sure that we continue to invest in the future of our economy and where we're going to be going and winning the global competition with China. I want to lower costs for families because I understand what it means when, groceries are more expensive or when basic essentials are more expensive. I know exactly who that hits.
given all that, Dean says
He has the ability to appeal to a wide demographic.
still, to win in Texas, he'd need to convince Republican voters like Maddie Sepsic to break tradition, which is a big ask.
For me, it's just always been easiest because I lean more on that side, and I believe more of their interests are aligned with mine, that it's just easier for me to just go in and out and vote all Republican.
Right now, recent polls show Allred trailing Cruz by as much as 7%.
That was the Texas Newsroom's Blaze Gainey. The NBA kicks off its new season tonight with the Knicks playing the defending champion Celtics on the East Coast and the Timberwolves taking on the Lakers on the West Coast. We'll have to wait until Thursday to see the Dallas Mavericks' first game when they take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Stars hit the ice tonight in New York, taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Thousands of marigolds cascade down the Rose Garden stairs at the Fort Worth Botanic Garden for its Dia de Los Muertos event on Saturday. Enjoy free admission from noon to 5, live music, dance performances, and strolling Katrinas throughout the garden. Guests are also invited to bring mementos honoring their loved ones to add to the altar. For more information and other things to do, visit kera.org/calendar. Thanks so much for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. This show was produced and edited by Shardae White and Becca Moore. For more news in your inbox, visit kera.org/wakeup. That's where you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter. That's written by our colleague, Kathleen Hobbs. Stay up to date during elections with our voter guide at keranews.org. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at KERATX. And take care. We'll see you tomorrow.